From 8. Say what you like about Gen Z, but new research paints a picture of New Zealand's newest adults as pretty competent savers. However, it's not the same story when it comes to making financial decisions, unsurprisingly. Kirk Hope is Chief Executive of the Financial Services Council with us in Wellington this morning. Kirk, good morning.
Hello, Ryan. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good to have you on. So 96% of Gen Zers are enrolled in KiwiSaver. Great. 80% of them check their balances regularly. This all sounds good. How does that compare to other age groups?
Yeah, it's a lot higher than other age groups because I mean, if you think about it, this is a cohort of people who primarily have grown up with KiwiSaver, whereas previous generations didn't. So it's a lot higher. And again, that stat that you just used of 80% checking their KiwiSaver balances, so they're interested, they're looking at it. I think things like Sharesies and being able to invest fractional investments, so-called fractional investments, have really helped particularly young people become more au fait with what's happening with their KiwiSaver. But there are some other aspects which are less comforting, and that in terms of some of their financial decision making, they're less confident. So that that's an area of opportunity, I think.
Yeah. What are they not confident in doing? Knowing where to put their money, or are they just not? There's obviously the compulsory aspect of the automatic aspects of KiwiSaver. It comes out of your pay. You don't really think about it. But are they making smart decisions with any, excess money they might have in their pocket?
Yeah, one of the things that came out of the research was that 62% of them said that if they have extra money, they would save it, which I think is a good thing. But where their confidence relates to is really things like insurance, where not many of the cohort actually have insurance. So only 33% are very confident around insurance matters, and only 37% of those people had either life or health insurance. So that's quite low. Having what we've been advocating for, particularly with the government, is that some of these products are overtaxed in New Zealand. If FBT applies to them if a employer wants to provide it as a benefit. So young people could certainly benefit from some of those changes.
You're calling for a national strategy on KiwiSaver. What exactly would that entail?
Good question. Well, I think what it wouldn't entail is things like consideration of early withdrawals for a whole wide range of reasons. I mean, what we're looking at is a fairly stable platform for KiwiSaver. Now you've got withdrawals for two reasons: one for first home withdrawals and one for hardship. So New Zealanders, the polling we've done of New Zealanders says, they feel comfortable about that. Way less comfortable. In fact, pretty much majority against extending those withdrawals for things like, buying farms or buying businesses. So that tells you that people really trust KiwiSaver, and they want it to be for retirement, and therefore, you slim down the level of withdrawals. But we don't really want to have those conversations in silos. What we'd prefer to do is have it as part of a national strategy. Okay, what does a scheme look like for the long term? What's it going to be used for? For example, is it going to be used for infrastructure in New Zealand? Are there going to be different changes that might be made to invigorate infrastructure investment in New Zealand through KiwiSaver funds, for example, things like that, but for the long term.